Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel and welcome to Look Back. This is a series that I do here on the Dice Tower where I take a look at reviews that I did 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years ago. I talk about what I think about those games now, if I think about them at all. So we'll go back 20 years ago, and the game I reviewed 20 years ago, I definitely think about now. In fact, it came out 40 years ago, almost 50 years ago, and that is Cosmic Encounter. 20 years ago, I reviewed the new version from Avalon Hill. I love Cosmic Encounter. That was probably the weakest version. Still great game, though. Negotiation, everything I love about a game, 10 out of 10. 10 years ago, I reviewed Bear versus Gorilla versus CEO versus Hippie. Yeah, the name should kind of give us a clue. 2 out of 10. This game's terrible. Everything I'm not looking for in a board game. Race Formula 90. So this game, which I gave a 7.5 to, is an interesting game because it's a racing game, but it's very methodical, it's very thoughtful. It's almost all math. So that's good. You just can't play as with people who are going to take a long time to think about their turns. Rivet Wars Eastern Front. So this is an interesting game, Rivet Wars. It is a game in which players are playing like little chibi World War I type stuff, like little characters. And I was like, what a weird combo. But it's fun. It's a two-player game. You constantly are rejuvenating your troops, sending them off. This is one of the games that kind of put CMON on the map for me. 8 out of 10. And the other game here, Chaos Ball, the fantasy sport of total domination. Also from CMON games. This here, Eric Lang, designing a two-player kind of Blood Bowl experience, but very, very light. In fact, you can buy all the different expansions for this. There's like 10 different expansions, and they have one minor rule change for each one. That's it. But it's about beating up the other team. It's about playing cards with Cosmic Encounter and trying to outthink the other person. It's fun. 8 out of 10. 5 years ago, I took a look at Crypt. Now, this is from a small company called Road to Infamy, and I did not like their first game, which was called Road to Infamy. So Crypt, though, kind of got me back on board. A little game about looking for treasures in crypts, rolling dice, or kind of betting. An interesting little card game. Later on, Road to Infamy came out with Canvas, which made them very popular. 1906, San Francisco. This one, 7 out of 10, just like the last one. This is from a company called Looping Games, and all their games start with 19-something. And their games are about this size, but they have a much bigger presence. This one here about rebuilding San Francisco. Nice little game. Call to Adventure. Now, this one I give a 7 out of 10 to, and it's almost straight up because of the theme. The mechanisms of the game are fine. You flip some runes and you're collecting cards to build a story, but it's a story and the art that kind of bring this to life. It's almost like you're just having a fun adventure building a story of your background story of your character. 7 out of 10. Welcome to Dino World. This is a fairly complex, not super complex, but for a roll and write game. This game in which it's Jurassic Park, the dice game essentially. There's a lot of things going on. Once again, there's not as much Jurassic Park dinosaurs escaping as you might think in this style game, but there's a lot going on. It is 7 out of 10. Ticket to Ride London. Really like this little small 15-minute series of games from Ticket to Ride. And this is a good, solid, great one in the series, 8.5. Point Salad. 5 years ago, Point Salad came out. And people are still playing it today, although now there's a Pokemon version of it, only in Asia. So you have to hunt that one on eBay to find that. But Point Salad, a simple game of collecting, vegetables and then getting points for them. So easy to play, 8.5. This one does really, really does well. And then I played the expansion for Seventh Continent. What goes up must come down. Seventh Continent has cooled for me for a bit over the years, although the Seven Citadels bring me back in. But this expansion was really on point, adding another layer of clouds, airship, and a hot air balloon, and then underneath ground. I thought it was great. 10 out of 10. Last year, I reviewed The Stuff of Legend, which is based on the comic book or graphic novels of the same name. This is kind of a whodunit. Think of a faster Battlestar Galactica. Like, who is the guilty, who is the traitor? I like it. It wasn't what I was expecting. It's fun. 7 out of 10. The Finest Fish, which has some really beautiful boards and scales on them. It's just a nice little kind of not set collection, but you're building patterns. There's a lot of building pattern games out there, but this one's gorgeous and works better than most. 7.5. Illiterati, which incidentally here in my notes, I spelled that wrong. Go figure. But Illiterati is a cooperative word-building game where you're fighting an illiterati who's trying to make people illiterate. Pretty solid game. I really enjoyed this one. Word games are fun when you're working together because that person who knows everything is now your partner. 8 out of 10. And then finally, The Adventures of Robin Hood. This is such a unique game. Me and my kids liked it. I gave it 8 out of 10, where you're pulling cubes from a bag or pulling discs to see whose turn it is. There's an interactive map, and it's super thematic as you go through the story of Robin Hood. There's not a lot of games that are like it. A good family adventure style game. So there you go, folks. Those are the games I reviewed 1, 5, 10, and 20 years ago. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel. This has been Look Back on the Dice Tower. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel.